Well, let me adjust my little laptop camera here. This is Jim. I'm making this video just to introduce myself. I would like for you to make a video something like this using your laptop and just recording straight into YouTube. You can make this an unlisted video, and then only I will see it when you send me the URL. Now, who am I? Well, I've been teaching at DePaul for about 25 years, actually even more than 25 years, all the time for computer science. About 2005, I started working on a course with Steve Luking, DPH 205, and eventually that course produced a published workbook, as well as being converted to fully online conduct. Now, I teach GPH 205, and I teach CSC 200 right now, sometimes the internship course, CSC 298. But in the past, I've taught over 100 sections worth of Java programming, systems analysis, COBOL programming, C programming, data communications, e-commerce, and probably some other ones thrown in there too, like the ethics course, which I haven't taught recently. So I have a lot of experience in the classroom, but what's fascinating to me is thinking about how to essentially abandon the classroom and revert to a means of teaching where it's more one-on-one. I think actually that's the way people used to learn things prior to the time that the classroom was invented, when there was a shortage of books and readers in the Middle Ages. When the printing press was invented, the classroom had already sort of been institutionalized as the means of doing learning, and when learning management systems came along, the people who put those together, who were by and large geeks, put them together thinking that if they could replicate the classroom online, that they would have a fine educational tool. Well, actually, I think that was not quite the right idea. And since that time, I've explored doing things in a different way, reducing the extraneous complexity of doing things online by using commonly available web tools, and by getting to know students on an individual basis and conducting the class that way, more like traditional learning prior to the development of the classroom. So you won't find in courses that I teach a bunch of discussions where people are attempting to do something online that probably doesn't really occur in the classroom anyway. A lot of chit-chat about this and that, because with courses like this, there's subject matter to learn, and that means you have to interact with the subject matter, not with people's opinions about the subject matter. So you won't find discussions in courses that I conduct. You'll find that you're dealing directly with me and some other subtleties involved in the course. You may choose to work in a team of two with a friend. Then the three of us will have kind of a three-way conversation. Your major focus, however, will be the learning materials, which include multimedia, short video clips that I make or that other people make, woven into the fabric of the course, which may be structured around a textbook written by somebody else, or may be structured around a textbook that I've written, which is the case with CSC 200. So I'm a native Californian. I'm making this out in Los Angeles, but normally I live in Chicago. And I will be on campus a couple of times during the term, but not for fully online classes. In fully online classes, everything happens on the web. And presumably you have your own computer, some access to it, because you're going to want to have a great deal of convenience in working with the web. I try and foster that convenience by putting lectures out there and not conducting lectures in real time. I really don't think there's any need for that. So a tool like Wimba, which you may have encountered, I think is a little overly technical for the purpose, but I think it's much better if I prepare lectures and package them into short bursts of maybe 10 minutes or so related to the readings and the assignments, and occasionally putting more updated items out there too, rather than trying to get a number of people together online for the purpose of giving a lecture. That replication of the classroom, I think, is not really very productive. In addition, you have in my courses You have online exercises, and you also have a fully online final exam. You have written assignments that are intended to be productive. An essay only where an essay is required, other times other ways of getting the information, namely form-based types of things. And you have projects that are hands-on, but where the materials that you produce are submittable electronically. I also don't use Desire to Learn. I think I have a better way of doing things with a website that's totally open and using a dedicated Gmail address for the course so that you have much less of a hassle getting work to me. In addition, I give you back your grades in what amounts to be a transcript of your efforts in the course. I include grades and feedback on that, and you receive a complete listing of it every time you turn something in. So in my experience, this has really reduced the amount of excess technical hassle that may otherwise be associated with the course. And I provide you in each case with an ebook, which is the course, that has links in it to the materials that you're intended to read and to view. So you won't find yourself going to the web looking for a menu to find the things related to the course. Instead, you have an ebook and you progress through it essentially in a linear fashion. That is, you start at the beginning and you continue through, and when you come to the end, you stop. And since everybody knows how a book works, I think that's a whole lot easier than trying to have you fish around inside some online menu and figure out where things are with the chance of missing some things. Anyway, I've spent a lot of time coming up with a way to do online that focuses on learning and not on technical trivia. And in the past, students have enjoyed it. Now, what I'd like for you to do is to make a short video just like this. You can make it any way you like. That is, you can make it using your webcam and recording directly into YouTube. You can make it with a cell phone or an iPod or an iPad and upload it to YouTube. You can choose to make that unlisted and then just email me the URL. Then, sometime during the first week of class or the first 10 days, I'd like to speak with you individually. You call me up or you tell me where to reach you and what time. And we'll spend a few minutes talking because I'd like to know something about your background, why you're taking the course, what you hope to gain from it, what your major is, when you plan on graduating, just so that you and I can establish a rapport that might not even exist in the classroom had I not taken this sort of a step to focus on individuals one at a time and get to know you in the course. Now, if you have an Apple iPod or an iPad, or you have an iPhone, you can do Apple FaceTime. I have an iPad and I have also an iMac. Well, now it's called a Mac Air. In any case, we can do FaceTime if you prefer. And I will email out in the first week an indication of what my contact name is in Apple FaceTime. And you can then try and contact me especially at the hours that are designated in the syllabus, more or less online office hours. Anyway, that's my story. Now I'm looking to hear your story on an individual basis. So call me up, email me, and tell me when you want to call if you have any problems contacting me. And let's get together and find out more about you.